What are you doing? Oh crap!
Cooking some.
No! The whole place is on fire. We have to get water.
Literally nothing's on fire.
No.
Maybe the stove.
I'm on fire. We're all on fire. This is not okay.
Oh yeah, you are on fire. That's interesting.
Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Jake.
And I'm Krug, and today we're here to talk to you about the Oracle, one of the most confusingly strong characters in the game.
Okay, so it's overly complicated. Due to your complications, it makes it strong.
Actually, yeah.
Cool.
Let's get right into the stats. No, let's not get right into the stats. This is a playtest character, and because it's a playtest character, we're not going to be going over some of the kind of more mundane parts of the character. We're just going to be going over the parts of the character that help define it on a fundamental level.
Yep.
We don't care when it gets saving throws, we care when it gets buffed to its main class feature. Whoops.
So then now let's get right into the stats. Its key ability is Charisma. It is trained in Religion. It gains 2 skills determined by its Mystery. And it is trained in a number of additional skills equal to 2 plus your Intelligence modifier.
Yes, indeed. You're going to be trained in Perception. You're also going to be trained in Simple Weapons and Unarmed Attacks. You were untrained in All Armor, but you were trained in Unarmored Defense.
Is there anything that's not trained in Unarmored Defense?
No. And for saving throws, you're going to be trained in Fortitude Reflex, and you're going to be expert in Will.
I mean, makes sense. This is a caster class.
It is a caster.
Expert in the caster save.
Okay, so let's talk about class features. The first thing that we have to talk about is your Mystery.
That's my mystery.
I don't ever want to get to the bottom of that mystery. To understand the mystery, you kind of have to understand a little bit about the kind of lore behind the Oracle.
Okay.
So most divine casters will draw their power from a deity, right? That kind of makes sense. The Oracle doesn't draw their power from a deity, they draw their power from an ideal that is a part of many deities' portfolios.
Okay.
So instead of drawing their power from Abadar, who represents, like money and business and transactions and stuff like that, they will draw their power from the idea of fair trade. So maybe you'll be able to draw your power from Abadar, but also you'll be able to draw your power from deities that value being fair and deities that value any kind of finance whatsoever, and maybe deities that value contracts, which there are some evil deities that value contracts, right? And so that kind of like hodgepodginess of where you're getting your power from is a baseline source of a lot of your class's kind of interesting mechanics. It all comes down to your deities interacting with each other and creating power and difficulty for your character.
Abadar and Asmodeus, who both of their followers are lawyers.
Yeah.
Where it's like they understand the rule of law and they accept the rule of law, but at the same time, they're definitely not on the same side.
Abadar is like, oh, let's use this to improve the world, and Asmodeus is let's use this to control the world.
Yep.
Those are 2 different goals, but they both value the same thing. When you create your Oracle, you're gonna have to pick a mystery. There's a bunch of mysteries in the book. I'm gonna go over like the general template for what a mystery gives you, and then we'll talk about a specific example so we can get an idea, like a more specific idea of how it works. Cool. The first thing is gonna be the mystery benefit. That's just going to be like a set of abilities that your mystery is going to grant you, whether it be like a feat or like some other stuff. Like we said before, you're gonna get 2 trained skills. They're gonna be different per mystery. You're gonna be granted a cantrip. This is going to be in addition to the cantrips that you get normally through your casting features.
Okay.
This light is set to just go through colors.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
The mystery is also going to define related domains for the mystery. Like I said, you're drawing your power from multiple deities. These domains are kind of like the overlappy domains.
Okay.
Across all of the... And to be fair, the deities from which you're drawing your power are never specifically defined. You could really just look at this as almost a random list of domains in some cases. This is important because from these domains, you're going to be able to pick one of the initial domain spells and gain that as a focus spell. The focus spells for this class work very differently from other classes. We will get there. Give us a second. And lastly, you're going to get a revelation spell based on your mystery. Revelation spell is the focus spell flavor for this class. The example mystery I picked was Flames. Sometimes we go with like the most generic thing for an example so that it's like the easiest to understand. And I thought fire was that thing,
Sure,
It's just
Fireball
like,
is like...
Fireball's the most quintessential spell imaginable.
Sure.
So the fire one, let's do the fire one. So your mastery benefits are going to be expert proficiency in reflex saves, and then at 13th level, you're going to gain mastery in reflex saves, and you're also going to get the lightning reflexes feat. It gives you a save, and then it gives you kind of a
Benefit.
feature that's associated with
Okay.
that. Your trained skills are acrobatics and intimidation. You're going to get the produce flame cantrip. Your related domains are sun and what was the other one again?
Fire.
Yeah, it was fire. It was the fire domain. And then your revelation spells are these random fire spells from the book. They do fire damage. That's what they do.
Hey, what spells do fire? Do those.
Okay, let's talk about revelation spells.
Okay.
They are a focus spell. They work just like focus spells, except for completely different because your class. Not only does your class never get a focus pool,
Okay.
but your class is forbidden from acquiring a focus pool by any means. You cannot have a focus pool. You don't get focus points. You.
If you are an oracle and you decide to take a dedication monk feat, that would then theoretically
Negative. No
But
focus
can you
points.
gain the abilities?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Whenever you cast a focus spell,
Okay.
you are casting it as a revelation spell.
Okay.
Instead of spending a focus point,
Okay.
you become cursed. This is basically you drawing upon your divine power to do something good, but you're paying the consequence because one of the other deities is like, okay, but nah, that's not what I want to happen. Basically, no matter when you cast a spell this way, you are offending a deity.
Yikes.
Your mystery defines your curse progression. Now, to be fair, the curses are not actually entirely bad. Let me rephrase that. Every curse is bad for you in some way.
Sure.
Some of them have some like fringe benefits that you could potentially like bleed out of them if you were a skilled player. Or in the right situation, but they are all bad. When you cast your first focus spell, you get a minor curse. When you cast the next focus spell, if you haven't gotten rid of that minor curse, if you're still affected by it, you get, the moderate curse. The important thing to note about the curse progression is that it is additive. You are layering these effects on top of one another. They aren't replacing each other. It's not like when you get the moderate curse, you get rid of the minor curse. Both of those effects are
You
active.
have both issues.
None of these effects can be removed or mitigated or lessened or in any way positively affected from your perspective by any means, except for the ones that are specifically called out in this class. So if I'm slowed because of a curse, and I have, a spell that removes the slowed status effect for whatever reason, it just does not work. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't work.
Okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
That was me being slowed one.
Now there are like class features that allow you to like mitigate this effect, this curse stacking. You can, delay the advancement of a curse with some features. You can, remove the curse but there's a baseline way of removing the curses, which is first of all, after you rest, you reset to nothing.
Okay.
After you refocus, you reset to minor. So if you have minor and you refocus, you just stay at minor. If you have major, the highest extreme, I think is actually the name of the highest curse, and you refocus, you're back to minor.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It effectively limits your focus pool to the same quantity that a high level caster would be able to achieve per combat, right? Except for you have a way of reducing it in combat sometimes, or of preventing it from progressing. Focus is like really your jam. Aggressively, more so than Druid, I'd say.
That's cool. I dig it. It's almost glass cannon-y, right? It's like I'm going to use these very powerful spells and abilities that are going to then turn around and negatively affect me for the ongoing remainder of this. So I need to choose the best opportunity to use these.
And it's aggressively glass cannon-y because in some cases you're actively damaging yourself or actively removing actions from yourself. The curse for the fire mystery is the curse of engulfing flames.
Okay.
So just like baseline, this isn't a minor curse. This is just a part of the text that describes the curse of engulfing flames.
Okay.
You see fire and flames wherever you look.
Which is cool in itself because you're just like, okay, it's literally just raining ash and fire. I'm just gonna go to sleep in this pit of fire.
Yeah.
I mean, the confusing part that I would have to have like a very serious GM player like conversation about this, but like the idea of everything surrounding in fire and flames. Would that mean that you could also not tell the difference between what's real fire and what's not fire?
I'd say that...
Because if you're like, oh, we're going to go into this lava pit, you're like, it's not lava, I'm fine. There are just flat out negatives to just having that.
I'd say that would be a fun RP thing, but I don't think that you should force the player to take that as a negative. If they want to, I think it'd be fun, but there's enough problems here without adding to it.
Yeah.
This is problematic enough.
I know it is. That's why I'm saying, like, that's scary. It doesn't say that it's fake. It literally says that you see flame and smoke everywhere you look.
It's fake. It says the flames might be imagined or they might be
premonitional
glimpse of the metaphorical fire that empower the entire multiverse.
The idea of imagined flames does not necessarily mean that they look cartoony like they look
it doesn't
real.
say that they don't, but I'm saying if you approach a fire and you feel heat, whether it's fake or not, you go back up. You're not like, well, that's probably fake, and then you're just throwing your hand into it.
I mean, we're going way deep into this. Okay, you're going down into the volcano, and you're going to take out this lava lord, right?
Yeah.
And as you're going further and further down, it's hot constantly everywhere you're around. The creatures that you fight are magma, giants or beasts that throw fire or whatever. Theoretically, everything around you is hot.
Okay, here's the thing, Jake. If I, as a character, am going down into a volcano, I assume every fire is real. As a rule, the only situation where I don't assume a fire is real is if I actively watch another player that is not an oracle walk through that fire. Only situation. No way that I'm gonna be, this fire is fake while I'm in a volcano. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah. Let's talk about the minor curse. This is actually supposed to become a problem for your character, and it's a pretty big problem for your character. Smoke and fire fill your vision and all of your other senses. So you smell the soot and you feel the heat, and you see the fire and you see the smoke. For all intents and purposes, the fire is real to you.
Yeah.
When you have this curse, creatures farther than 30 feet away from you are by default concealed from you. It gets way worse. In the moderate curse, smoke and flames fill your vision more completely, but also harmless smoke and flames occupy your space now. So you become concealed permanently.
That's cool.
And also everything is permanently concealed from you.
That's not cool.
Now, there's a caveat here because it would be wildly difficult to play this way. You don't have to roll a flat check to target a creature within 30 feet with a fire spell.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're just like, cool, I'm just gonna keep using fire.
And remember that you cannot reduce or mitigate this effect in any way. You cannot
In combat.
No, period.
No, you can get rid of it by focusing.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. You can't cast a spell that makes things not concealed.
Yeah.
You can't do the seek action to make things not concealed.
No. It's basically everything's like this in combat. Out of combat, you can refocus and drop it down to just the minor.
Yeah.
As you get like further down this path, it's basically forcing you to be a fire
set
lord.
yourself on fire.
Yeah. Because it's literally just like, okay, I use this ability. Cool, things are concealed. That means my effective range outside of 30 feet is crap.
None,
right?
yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, everything within 30 feet. If I use another focus spell, everything's concealed.
Now my effective range is 0.
Yeah.
Unless I'm using fire
Unless I'm
spells.
using a fire spell, which means that I have even less of a reason to use.
This girl is on fire.
Does that progress with the next, like the major curse, or is it?
Yeah, you can say that. You don't lose more vision.
No, but does it force you down the fire route more?
Yeah, the flames that occupy your space and were concealing you in the moderate curse, they just become real now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna gain a 5-foot aura around you.
Okay.
That deals 2d6 fire damage.
Okay.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Like if you're in a bad spot, that'll get you out of that bad spot.
Especially if you're like, maybe, I don't know if it's like viable, but like a melee oracle build.
I mean, yeah, I haven't really like looked into
build,
or thought of it,
yeah.
but I could see it being viable.
Yeah, because you're just like, cool, I'm going to get into combat. I've got a 5-foot aura of flame around me.
Yeah.
So I want to be in combat.
And you know what makes that viable is the other characters in your party. They could support you doing that potentially. But there's a little bit of a hurdle.
Okay.
So it's not just an aura that does 2d6 fire damage to enemies. It does 2d6 fire damage to all creatures at the start of your turn. That includes your party.
Okay.
Includes everybody.
Just get out of my way.
Also, at the end of your turn, you just take 2d6 fire damage. It's not like, oh, make a reflex or like a fortitude save. No, you just take 2d6 fire damage. There's no save and no mitigation of the fire.
Yeah.
You can't resist the fire damage. If you have fire resistance 1,000, you still take 2d6 fire damage. Now, you can spend one action concentrate action to focus on diminishing the flames, and then you take no damage for that turn.
Okay.
But then action economy.
Yeah.
You're using 1 action per round to avoid dealing damage to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough.
So this is like, I think you hit the flavor on the head, right? At first you just sense fire and it becomes like more and more of an encumbrance to your senses, and then it becomes an encumbrance to everybody's senses. People can't see you as well now. And then you get so deep into the mindset of the flame that you actually catch fire, and then nobody can get near you without getting hurt, and you hurt yourself. That's the thing about fire, right? Is if you don't take care of it, if you don't, I have a campfire, if you don't, build the rocks around it correctly, you could set the forest on fire.
Yeah.
This is like the point where you've been careless with fire, and now you've set yourself on fire, and you're paying the consequences. It's so good. It's such a unique take on resource management, being literally...
Instead of here's a pool of points that you get to spend, it's like you are the pool of points.
Yeah, you were the pool of points. Now, here's the thing. You're at the major curse now, right? Let's say that you get to the major curse. You can cast another focus spell. You don't have to stop casting focus spells, but if you do, you just, after the focus spell is completed, right? You fall unconscious immediately. You cannot be awoken by any means, period. And then you wake up naturally after 8 hours and you're reset to nothing. While you're unconscious and while you're refocusing, under those 2 conditions, the flames around you diminish.
Okay.
So you're not dealing damage and you're not taking damage when you're resting or unconscious.
Yeah.
Like if you're knocked out in combat, no flames. So it's not impossible for you to be in a situation where you're relaxing.
He's just like, I'm just hanging out by the campfire.
Yeah. That you are the campfire. So let's talk about some class feats, and also let's talk about some focus spells. Because the whole thing about this class is like, focus spells are like your jam. Like, look at all this stuff that happens when you cast focus spells. Let's talk about some of the focus spells you can get. So at level 4, you can pick up Visions of Weakness. So this is going to allow you to focus on a creature.
Okay.
And you're going to learn its weaknesses if it has any.
Oh, okay, that's cool. It's like a knowledge spell.
Yeah, which is neat, and like fits the Oracle, like the other Oracle lore, right? Which is like you can divine. You're almost a divination wizard. But if it doesn't have any weaknesses, you still get a benefit, which is a +1 circumstance bonus against the next attack roll or skill check as a part of an attack action against that creature.
I have a bonus. No
matter what, you get something beneficial out of it, right?
Yeah.
So this is 10th level. This is called Greater Revelation. This is going to allow you once per day to cast a revelation spell without increasing the magnitude of your curse.
Oh, that's great.
You're going to just be able to say, I'm at minor right now. I'm going to cast a focus spell, and I'm still staying at minor. Now, if you have the advanced mastery feat, you're going to be able to do that twice per day. Some built-in scaling, really, really good way of like prolonging the usefulness of your focus spells without making your character less useful in other ways.
Yeah, I can also see, like, especially with like feats like this, where you can specifically get yourself in a specific level of curse to
absolutely
benefit you in a situation.
Yeah, the moderate, usually, from what I was seeing, the minor curse is always just a minor detriment to your play. Moderate and major usually have, both of them usually have major detriments, but also minor and moderate like buffs, right? That's kind of how my take on the balance of it is going to work. Like you can't just cast one and then have like a little buff and a little downside and then build your character around always having that. I don't think it's going to work that way. I think you're going to have to go into moderate, and you're going to want to go into major in certain situations.
Sure.
I think that's going to be the play style. And I think minor is just the hurdle you have to cross to get there.
There's a bunch of ranged people. I can't get to them. I need some sort of concealment. Guess what? I'm going to boop myself into moderate, or in a situation where you're like, I'm a melee oracle, and you're in there and you're like, cool, I want to be at major, so I'm trying to get myself to major so that I can just go, okay, I can get into combat, use a focus ability to get me into major, and then I'm already in combat, so I'm not needing to move, so I get to attack twice, plus deal 2d6 everyone.
If that's a viable build, I'm even thinking that your actions on your turn are going to be solely focused on keeping yourself alive, and you're going to let the 2d6 free fire damage carry all of your combat damage for you. But most of the time, you're going to be like, I need to fix myself up right now, because I'm not built to be here, but I'm also doing damage to 9 things right now, and it's melting them.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're healing yourself, you're protecting, maybe casting like barriers, like
casting
shield or
shield
something,
on
trying
yourself.
to protect yourself from other casters while melting the front line to pieces.
It could very much change the different play styles so that, yes, you can have 2 different oracles and be so drastically different from each other based off of that. That's really interesting. I like that a lot.
At level 16, you can pick up Portentous Spell.
Okay.
This is basically, a method by which you can charm or distract people by casting magic spells.
Okay.
Because the flourishes that you do are so intricate and mesmerizing, and the sparks and the effects are so neat. Oh wow, that's so cool. It's a meta magic feat, so you do have access to meta magic. You have a whole tree of meta magic available to you. To what you were saying before about a melee build for this character, just any like weird fringe builds for this character, I feel like meta magic supports it. Meta magic is so good at making magic work in fringe cases. This character is going to have a lot of different build options because of it, I think.
That's awesome.
And obviously we have to include a capstone, so I picked Paradoxical Mastery. You know how we talk about flexibility being strong? Very flexible. You can pick any spell from any domain, advanced or common, to which you have access or that is in the core rulebook, or any initial or advanced revelation spell from any mystery.
Okay.
You know that as a revelation spell until you prep again. I don't see a level restriction in there.
No, I don't hear one.
I don't see any restriction in there. It's just like a couple of like source material restrictions. Like it's just, you just pick any piece of magic that you want and you could just take it.
I mean, mind you, this is also playtest. There might be some like
Yeah,
coming down.
sure,
but
sure.
They might be like, maybe just 9th level.
Yeah.
Because like 10th level.
Since you're not using a 10th level spell slot, and the restriction on 10th level spells is the slot, not the spell.
Yeah.
I think you could pick any 10th level spell that you want and use it as a revelation spell. And also, there is a way for you to gain a 10th level spell slot as a level 20 feature as well.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that that's actually supposed to be here, because if that were here, it would completely negate
the other
ability from my perspective at least.
Sure. That makes sense.
So it's just a hella strong capstone.
Yeah, I really like this. I think this is a really interesting class. I think it's very versatile. I really want to see the different revelations. I want to see the
and right now there aren't that many in the playtest. I think there was 3 or 4. I think they're gonna add. There might be more.
Yeah.
I hope there's more. Let's put it that way.
3 of them make sense.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of the quantity for other classes.
Yeah, because like Alchemist has 3, like the Rogue has 3, so I can see them only sticking to 3 for at least.
I was hoping it would be more like Sorcerer Bloodline. That was just me though.
Sure.
They are more involved than Sorcerer Bloodlines, but
I don't know.
It anyways.
I think that at least this is a way they may start, and then like as more and more books come out, this could easily be one of those classes that you just stack and stack and stack and stack on, versus like a wizard, which is just like here's more spells.
Yeah.
like a wizard's kind of hard to add onto with additional content, other than maybe additional like classes, kind of that. Like I don't know. I don't think there's as much to build on. Because their main feature is you get a crap ton of spells.
Yeah.
So I really like this. I want to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. I think this is a really good advanced players class. I don't think this is a great class to pick for your first one. This sounds hard to play. Let me rephrase that. This sounds harder to play than 90% of the other classes in the game. This is the only one that I've seen that actively goes against itself on purpose as a part of its play style. You know, if you look at it in a certain light, maybe it would be good for a beginning player then, because they're going to do that to themselves anyways.
Guess what? It's diving into the flames. Throw them into the fire by choosing the flame domain. What did you all think of this? Is this an awesome class? Is it OP? Is it weak? Or what are we not seeing? Head down in the comments. Let us know down there. While you're down there, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can hit the bell icon. You are free to do so.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. We're not going to stop you.
After you do all of that fun stuff, you can head over to Twitter and talk to us. You can talk to me on Twitter at IndigoQT.
And you can talk to me on Twitter at CrewQT, or you can talk to both of us at all these social media things down here. One of them is Patreon. Patreon, if you have some money that you want to give us and you want to give it to us specifically.
If you want to help support us and the channel.
Yeah, that. You can do it on Patreon. If you give $5 on Patreon, you get access to our Discord server, our RP Discord server. We also have another Discord server that's free that you can join if you just want to talk and chat and hang out and do stuff like that.
We are over 600 people on that server.
No way! What's up?
We also stream, we only stream 5 days a week, but we stream 6 shows during those 5 days.
We're weird.
Yeah, Sundays is Long Beach by Night and Court of Corvids, which is our Pathfinder 2nd Edition show.
That's tomorrow from the perspective of me right now. I'm super stoked to play Court of Corvids again.
Krug
watch William kill the shit out of that one character whose name we don't know yet. Oh,
I'm so excited for tomorrow because I know what's going to happen and you don't.
I want to kill the shit out of that guy.
But yeah, so we stream a lot. Mondays is Clear Skies, Tuesdays is Hijinks and Handlebars, Wednesdays we're off, Thursdays we're off, and Friday is Filthy Casual Friday, which Krug joined me for the first time on Filthy Casual Friday. How'd you like it?
It was fun. I like chatting to people. I really wish there was a way for us to chat during Court of Corvids, but it really would not work that well. But Filthy Casual Friday is a really good opportunity for us to chat to you live, like whilst doing something fun. When we did it, it was basically unedited GameGorgon.
Yeah, it was, as chat was calling it, GameGorgon unabridged.
Yeah, it's basically what it was. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so head over to all of those things, do all the things that we said because we said that you should do them, and until next time, bye.